What's going on, folks? Just getting some sheets set up here. We'll talk about some life today. Where the hell is that thing? Actually, you know what? Screw that. Anybody long? Anybody short? Where you at? Where you at? Alright, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Boom. Yo. Hey, folks. Welcome back to Surely Sound Studio. My name is Martin. You can call me Marty. This is my show. So let's go. What are we going to talk about today? Well, everybody wants to be a millionaire, right? So we'll talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about the technology that you use every single day, where it came from, how it got into your pockets, into your hands, and why you trust it so much. Maybe you shouldn't. As well as we're probably going to touch on the Bitcoin in the markets, of course. We're looking at the Bitcoin chart here, just watching the candles this morning. Nice little shake to the top, shake to the bottom, little heartbeat there. We see this all the time. Heartbeat, heartbeat. This is the market. This is the whales just shaking the leverage out. That's how the market moves, folks. It's all about leverage. It's all about people and their borrowed money. Leverage, leverage, leverage. That's how the market works. That's how the world works. The leverage steers the narrative. Okay? Once you understand how it works, you can play the game, basically. I mean, turn the music down a little bit here. It sucks, but I don't make the rules. I tried fighting with the umpire a lot when I was a kid. Found out that it didn't work too well. When I fight authority, authority always wins. Yeah, check it out. Right? So eventually you smarten up and you just realize that you can't beat them, so you join them. And it's terrible, but the thing is that if we all join them, then it works. It actually works. You really gotta understand how it works, and then you can take the initiative to create the utopian society that we all desire. I know it's possible. And we can do it together. Okay, so first things first. Bitcoin's dumping. Oh my God. Do you have what it takes? We're going to look at this first, actually. So, the technology in your hand. This all leads up to do it in the end, all right? Trust me. Smash the like button, subscribe, stick around to the end, have some fun, hop in the comments, tell me your favorite joke. Just have a good time, right? Okay, so this. Let's see. Pause. Play.
Bill Gates? Mark Zuckerberg? Really strange. This 19-year-old guy drops out from Harvard and founds Facebook, okay? And now he's a billionaire. How does that happen, guys? Well, it must be the American dream. Oh, ChatGPT, guys. Really strange. If you have a dream and you just follow it, you can become a billionaire in America.
Okay, I'm pretty sure most people know, like you hear about this, I heard about this. The military is roughly 10 years advanced in technology than the rest of us, right? I thought that's kind of like a common knowledge thing that people talk about all the time. Oh yeah, for sure. The United States military is definitely far more advanced than we are, right? We know that. It's funny because we're the same, but yet there's an entity on the planet that's far more advanced than us, right? We're all part of humanity. We're all part of the world. Yet there is an entity that is far superior in their technology. Okay, so just keep that in mind for the rest of your life, because if there's one, there could be more. You got to have an open mind to the potential of this universe. to really understand how things work, because the universe is vast. So much more vast than most people can comprehend. But you've heard, I've heard that technology held by the United States government is 10 plus years advanced than what we have today. Okay, so that means that they would have had stuff like smartphones in the 90s. They would have stuff like AI in the early 2000s, right? So now we're getting that now. And so why do you think that we get that now?
Yeah. It's all just a scam, right?
It's all just a scam.
Google. It's all just a scam. Okay. What you need to understand about these companies is
scam might not be the right word. Okay, it's not necessarily a scam, but they are trying to exploit you. So in technically it is a scam, right? Like, you don't want to hear the word scam because that sucks. But like the definition is to exploit, to take advantage of. That's what's happening here. So it is, remember, we put our opinions aside and we think logically about what it is. We don't care. I don't have this is what I think. I don't care. I don't think my opinion means nothing. It is what it is. Okay. The results speak for themselves. You crunch the numbers and what you get is what you get.
With U.S. military technology that is public, okay? The internet is a U.S. military technology. Google, the search engines, it's all U.S. military technology. And they were given to these guys for free. Why would they do that? Okay, again.
Nothing's free. Nothing is free.
If you think that we're ruled by secret societies, and it's really secret societies that control the world, and they want this technology out there to better surveil people.
Ruled by secret societies. That's the funniest thing ever. When people get all upset about politics, it's like, bro, open up a little bit here. Those people that are in the political spaces are being manipulated just as much as you are. So, yeah, think bigger when you're getting upset about something that's absolutely pointless.
It makes a lot more sense, right? Because if the Pentagon says, hey, with this free computer that you can use, you'd be like, I'm not gonna use this computer because you'll spy on me, right? But if Mark Zuckerberg says, hey, free Facebook, guys, want to use it? You're like, yeah, sure, Facebook.
Free YouTube, guys. Free YouTube, right? I'm going out on a limb here. Going out on a limb. Just letting you know I'm doing it for you. Doing it for you because I love you.
Yeah, he's a dork from Harvard. Of course he can be trusted, right? Same strategy, okay, guys?
Same strategy, right? So you got to remember, so the technology that we have now that we're all using now has been around for a lot longer than we've been allowed to use it. Therefore, they're like, when you're doing an experiment, okay, I'm doing this experiment in my lab, checking it out, blah, 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 figuring everything out about it. Okay, now I'm pushing it out into other people's labs, other people's hands, right? I already know everything that I was able to figure out about it. Not everything about it, but I know a lot about it. And I'm going to give it to other people to see what they can do. But the way that the internet works is that there's always a back office. There's always a back door. Just like any business, you walk in the front door, you see the secretary, you see a nice some flowers and maybe a fountain if they're really successful. Oh my God, look at the size of this fountain, right? Like, but then there's doors, and behind those doors are what really happens. The front office is usually only about 10% of the rest of the entire business, right? But that's what you see. You get to see that 10%. So the internet is the same way. When you're building websites, when you have any sort of apps or anything like that, you have what's called the back office, and that's where you control everything. That's not what people see, okay? So everything that we're using today, every screen that you're looking at, you have to understand, has people in the back office working, looking through the other side of the window, right? So like, even if it was one of those like one-way mirrors or whatever it's called, where, oh, look, I'm just checking out your hair, how's my freaking... You're looking right at somebody. You can't tell you're looking right at somebody, but somebody's looking right back at you, okay? It's a trip, but that's how it works. Now, I encourage you to get into it, because then you can understand how it works, and it's a lot more fathomable for your brain. Because a lot of people, if you don't know how it works, like misunderstood technology can be misunderstood for magic, right? It can be falsely accused as magic. Right? Like it's not magic. It's just technology that you don't understand, right? And the crazy thing is that there's so many people in this world, and the wealth inequality, the technological inequality is so vast that we have people that are using things that are what most people would say, oh, that must be from the future or from a fairy tale. It's fiction. It's not real. It's like, no, there's actually people that have been working and grinding and testing and figuring things out over day in and day out for decades, for centuries, and they have more knowledge than other people. So you need to learn how to tap into these other people and these other groups and get that knowledge, because it's there. They're not going to just give it to you until they are ready to give it to you, right? But you have to understand that if that has been the case the whole time, then why wouldn't it continue to be the case, right? So there's still 10, 15 years in advance with us. It's still happening. There's still people out there that are learning and technologically advancing more every day. And then there's other people that live in tents, and I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do. Probably a lot of substance abuse, and that's very bad. But we can change that by applying ourselves. I mean, at a young age, if you're gone, you're gone, I guess. Maybe you could come back. I don't know, but it's not something I've got into yet. Maybe when I get a little bit older and have a little bit more time on my hands and my kids are raised, maybe I'll get into charities and helping people that need the help. I try and do as much as I can now, but right now I'm trying to selfishly build my empire, my family, the people around me. I'm trying to build that so that I can have, I'm trying to build the whole world here, but I'm just starting small, okay? I'm trying my best to do what I can do. All I can do is affect the people around me and try and lead by example is what I'm really trying to do here. So again, with the technology, just got to understand this is how it works, okay? This is just kind of an example of like, you think something's one way because you've been told that it's that way, and you're happy with that explanation and you don't need to dig any further. But the truth is there's always a whole lot more. You only ever really understand 10% in the beginning. You're only ever going to be told 10% of it. There's a whole other 90% that you're going to have to figure out yourself. And if you don't try and figure that out yourself, then you're probably going to have a bad time, okay? Total French fry when you should pizza. But I think personally you should probably be French frying. You should be French frying and you shouldn't be pizzaing. There's too many people out there pizzaing and they need to be French frying and just go it, quit pizzaing. Don't do a pizza. Do not do a pizza. French fry. French fry as hard as you can to get to where you want to go. If you pizza when you want to be French frying, you're going to have a bad time. Okay, now check this out. Of course, Bitcoin is going to lead into it. Okay, settle down. I guess this doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoin, but everything has to do with Bitcoin. If you understand Bitcoin, you understand that everything has to do with Bitcoin, but this is good. I can't pronounce this guy's name, but he's funny, and he's fighting the good fight, so let's read one of his tweets. Why doesn't the U.S. government just borrow $38.5 trillion from the Fed and pay off its debt? Because, are you kidding me right now? I'm live, Mom! I'm live! Should we answer my mom's phone call? Will it go through? Mom, I'm live right now on YouTube. You're phoning me and I'm live?
I'll let you finish up on YouTube and go listen to you.
I thought you'd be watching me. I thought you were my only person watching right now.
I'm not. I'll be your second one.
Okay, first. Perfect. All right, I'll talk to you in a minute. Talk to you in the chat. Smash the like. Subscribe. All right, thank you. That's funny. Okay, where were we? My music stopped and everything. Interesting. Okay, did I do that? I don't remember. What was I saying? Why doesn't the U.S. government just borrow $38.5 trillion from the Fed and pay off its debt? Because if the money is issued too quickly, the entire system would fall apart overnight. Everyone who gets paid back can spend their money and add newly issued dollars to the economy. Prices would 10x overnight, right? Because then we're adding too much money to the system, and then it dilutes everything. Everybody wants to demand, but there's not enough supply, so prices go up. Because demand gets too high and supply does not get high enough, so prices go higher, right? So instead, the goal is to have it fall apart over time so that people at the top can extract as much wealth at times as possible for the people at the bottom, from the people at the bottom. Okay, see how this works? So this is the patient and the knowledgeable taking from the impatient and the unknowledgeable, people that don't know how it works. If the Ponzi collapses too quickly, everyone will want to exit, right? So it takes time. The majority of participants won't realize they're being stolen from. And that's exactly what's happening. Okay, your purchasing power is being stolen from you by people who are taking it all and consuming all the assets, right? So that leads to how to become a millionaire. The easiest way to become a millionaire is just live as long as you can, because eventually everybody will be a millionaire. Eventually, everybody will be a millionaire. There's other countries where everybody's millionaires. That's another thing too. Do you understand about other currencies that have been around for a lot longer, hundreds of years? Francs, right? People buying loaves of bread with 40,000 francs. Why is that? You got to do your own research, okay? It happens to fiat currencies. It happens to every fiat currency. The Roman Empire did not fall. It's just changed shape and form. Matter is not created or destroyed. It just changes shape or form. All this stuff is all the same. The universe is all connected. Everything is the same. We're all one. Okay, you guys? So the way that the fiat system works with the debt issued that does not exist, they have to print more to pay it off. Every time they print more, it devalues the dollar. So therefore, eventually, when you devalue the dollar, everything goes up. So eventually you will be a millionaire. Simply give it time. Easiest way to become a millionaire. The quicker way, because honestly, I'm sure you've looked at this, right? I don't have to explain this. I'm a millionaire. I'm a Bitcoiner. I've got nothing. I'm a millionaire. I'm a Bitcoiner. Oh, now we both have houses. My house has got a little bit smaller though. I'm a millionaire. I got this shack for $1 million. Oh, that's nice. I'm a Bitcoiner. Now I have because he has a strong asset, right? He has an asset that's appreciating over time because you cannot add to supply. You cannot dilute it. You cannot affect the supply. Supply demand equals price. Simple equation like E equals MC squared. And 1 Bitcoin will be 1 Bitcoin. Okay, fiat dollars are infinity. 2040. All these people, this is money, they don't use money anymore because they realize, that didn't work. And the unfortunate thing is it takes so long, it takes generations that people don't realize they're born into the system where it is already falling apart. So there's nothing, they don't understand that life could have been better or life was better. And of course, the communication breakdown between families and the Western Rockefeller way, having everybody split up and having you fight with your family. Oh, you don't want to be family, like all the movies and stuff. Oh, I hate my family. It's like, what? It's crazy. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you realize that everything is meant to push you the one narrative. And that's the financial narrative. Okay, where the people that are knowledgeable, the families that are knowledgeable and have been doing this for a long time are doing one thing, but they are paying their businesses, their businesses are to keep the rest of the world doing the complete opposite. And it's like, whoa, the movies, just the way that the roads work. Like I'm serious. This down to the way that the roads work. It's everything. Everything is in the direction to screw you and scam you. It's crazy. But once you see it, you're like, you break free from it. And that's why there's the metaphor of the Matrix and stuff. It's like we live, and then honestly, the best advice I have for anybody is listen to music. For anything, really listen to music, and honestly, just listen to it. Don't put it on while you're doing something else. Sit down and listen to music. For whatever you're going through, you're going to have to find the music that fits. But the biggest impact on my life has been music. Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, all these rock and roll bands that I listened to growing up. And then that's the cool thing about being a kid too. It's you don't have a lot to do a lot of the time. You get bored. So you literally just sit and listen to music. Nowadays, I just put on this AI stuff because I'm just doing stuff all the time. I never get to actually sit down and listen to music. Sometimes I do, and it's amazing when I get to. But when I was a kid, I got to do it a lot. You actually sit there in a truck getting blitzed with your friends and you just listen to music. And you just like, wow, man, like, wow. Like that is some of the best times ever. Just in a haze, man, like physically and mentally. But listening to the music and having, because music creates neural pathways, helps create neural pathways, right? It's funny, you should see what no, never mind, we won't go there. But playing music creates even more neural pathways. So the musician that I advise you to listen to, they're smarter than most people are willing to accept, really. Like, and the weird thing is like musicians always have such an issue in this world, like Kurt Cobain, right? Jimi Hendrix, all these, like, I don't fit in. It's like, because they've spent so much time playing music, they're probably already a little bit weird to begin with. So they were outcast and they spent that much more time playing music, but that they were actually densifying and building their brain that whole time that they were outcast. Right? And then they come back to society and they don't fit. It's because you're way smarter than anybody. You're way smarter than everybody. You see things that other people simply cannot see. Whether it's actually physical or it's through your brain. Telekinetic. I don't even know. You know what I mean? But true, like, just trust me here. Like, listen to the music. That is where the knowledge comes from, because you need to get knowledge from people who are smarter than you, and you need to admit that the people are smarter than you so that you can get this knowledge. Like we listen to the elders in ancient times. Well, we don't really have that happening now. We have the internet, and people are just supposed to go to the internet to get their knowledge, which is good, but you have to be able to do your own research and really sift it out for yourself, because you can find anything that backs up anything that you want it to back up. Like, there's everything on the internet. It's the unfortunate thing about it. You need to think logically about what's actually possible, because there's so many things on the internet. They're like, oh yeah, you should do this, you should do this, and we now know that they're just blatant lies, and we've proven it. We've seen it by the whole food pyramid thing, and people are getting obese and diabetes and all this stuff. Like, the things that existed 50 years ago, or the things that exist now, didn't exist 50 years ago when they came up with this whole food agenda, right? Like, we're looking at the evidence. We don't care about what people say. We don't care about our own opinion. We have to look at the evidence overall. And I know that sucks because there's individuals that get left out and stuff like that, but we are a one, and we have to treat the world and as a scenario that we are one, right? So it's not the nicest, I get it, but for the future of humanity as a whole, that's how it has to be observed. And so you understand that if you want to become a millionaire, in fiat dollar terms, you need to hold assets that appreciate in value. It's really that simple. And then you can just do whatever you want with your life, right? See, now if we all had the education that's all you had to do, we wouldn't be taking out student loans. Don't leverage, don't borrow money, don't get in debt unless it's going to pay you. Now, lots of people think student loans will pay you. I mean, I never took one myself, and I know a few people that did, and pretty sure I'm a little bit further ahead than them. I could be wrong. Not really a big deal one way or another. I have no student debt to pay off. I never had. I came out of school and become a welder right away. And so building things with your hands and providing value in that way was immediate. I immediately started making money. I moved out of my parents' house when I was 17, which is stupid, but I thought that's what you were supposed to do at the time. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I think 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. living with the boys and stuff, you know, like that's a good time of life. It's a good way to learn a lot. And then I had a kid at 24, which was probably one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it's like, okay, now it's time to I bought a house. I was like, okay, you buy a house, right? Like, that's what you do. I don't know. And then, wow, got into that market, realized how the real estate market worked, was always kind of interested in technology. And I always knew about Bitcoin since about 2013, but didn't really give it too much attention. But now it's like, wow. Well, this is awesome. This is awesome, because now instead of having to come up with a $80,000 down payment to get into the real estate market, I can buy Bitcoin with $10. And I can start to build wealth $10 at a time. And instead of trying to save that 80 grand over 2 years, it'd probably take, you'd have to be bare bones living to save 80 grand in less than 2 years with wages these days, depending on what you're doing. I mean, depending on where you're coming from, of course, everyone's story is different. Everybody's financial story is different. That's why there's no one way to do things. There's no one strategy or no one way to get there, I guess, but the end goal is ultimately the same. Like, you want to hold assets because the fiat dollar is going to zero. So you need to just learn how to store your wealth in assets, and just make sure they're assets. There's plenty of assets out there. Like, it can be cars, it can be tools, it can be, just make sure it's the right car, right? You don't want to get a shitty Honda Civic, 2000 Honda Civic that's going to lose its value. You want like a 80s, 60s, 70s restored muscle car, like stuff like that, like that'll hold your value, right? You know, you're doing your own research when it comes to anything, right? So, but ultimately the goal is you want to hold your value in assets that go up, because then ultimately over time, it doesn't matter what you're holding, it's going to be worth $1 million, because the dollar is going to go to zero. It might take a long time. The unfortunate truth is I don't think it's going to take a long time. We are like I've been saying this for a few years, like hyperinflation is on the horizon. It's a lot closer than I think people think. Even smart people that are like economists and stuff are like, yeah, it's, we probably got another 50, 60 years. The thing is that the yield curve, once it starts inverting, everything gets faster, and everything starts coming twice as fast, right? Like in Pacific Rim, they have one kaiju, and then a year or two later, they get another one, and then 6 months later, then it's, right? Every single time, we will have a double event. I've done the calculations. I have 18 chalkboards. On this date, there will be a double event. Like that's just a yield curve. Everything's the same, right? No matter what you're looking at. It starts out slow, and then once it starts to take off, it skyrockets. Your business, your finances, once you understand how it works, especially once you get into holding assets and you're going through hyperinflation. You're working out to be, maybe you want to be, I don't know, an athlete of some kind. Starts out slow until you get stronger and you get bigger, and then you can run faster and you can do more things, and then it just starts to compound and everything moves a lot faster. And in the beginning, it seems like it takes forever, but then all of a sudden, whoa, now it's coming too fast. Okay. So you got to be aware that what's happening right now and what's going to happen in 2026, because I've seen a lot of people talking about how 2026 is going to be amazing for Bitcoin, all assets. I mean, I get it, QE starting, but I think if you've paid attention to this for long enough, you realize that there's a lag in the system. When they do something, it doesn't affect the economy right away. It usually takes 6 to 12, maybe even more months than that. So what's happening, just look at the liquidity heat map from the last year with Bitcoin right now. There's very little open interest. But we see these moves up, and we have lots of people buying, these moves down, and lots of people selling. There's lots of money coming into the market. We've had almost really nothing come in. The biggest amount of money was back here in October, when we have hundreds of millions of dollars coming in out here. But that money is slowly going down as these people are taking profits on their shorts. As this big move has happened down, we haven't seen any open interest. So the reason that Bitcoin's going down right now is simply because people that have been in the market longer are taking profits, and we're not seeing a lot of people leverage short. So there's no reason for us to come up here until we build enough liquidity to come up here. Okay. And I mean, this chart doesn't go back far enough, so you can't see it, but there's definitely a lot more liquidity down here from these lows, these lows, these lows. The market moves the way it does because of liquidity. So this is a heat map showing you that square there. You're not going to show it to me? Come on. Basically, that was this, right? So that was the last year. 25. What was it? There you go. So that was the last year. So it wasn't showing this potential liquidity all up in here. This right here was our high. And we have a little gap in here that hasn't been filled. A little inefficiency in a larger inefficiency. So, I mean, I see, what do we see here? Just looking at patterns, we got 1, 2, ooh, a higher low, boom, 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 right? A little bit of a rounding, a little bit of a rounding, a little bit of a rounding, a rounding, a rounding, a rounding, a rounding. See how nice and curved that is? It's the uneven butt cheek pattern almost right there, isn't it? Even my kids know about this one. And that's hilarious. We got a little butt cheek, big butt cheek. Uneven, right? Uneven. So there's a good chance they're going to come and do something like that down here. If you're looking for price wise, this is like going to be your opportunity probably. But this is going to take, I think, a lot longer than people think. I don't think this is going to, like, all-time highs I don't see for Bitcoin in 2026. I could be wrong, that'd be sweet, but we just don't have enough people interested right now. I get the ETF things. The ETFs are good, but you have to understand that we are now solely relying on ETFs and institutional money to push the price of Bitcoin. Retail traders are out. Everybody's given up. Retail traders got wrecked the last couple cycles, and now Bitcoin is near $100,000, right? So Bitcoin has now priced a large portion of the population out, and that's what's gonna that's what happened. Like, it happened with houses, right? Everybody was able to buy a house at one point, and then eventually the asset goes up and out of reach, and it pushes these people out. Bitcoin has pushed a large amount of the population out visually, right? This is psychologically. This isn't real because Bitcoin is fractionalized, right? So it works. But when most people see, oh, Bitcoin's 80 grand, I can't afford that. The lack of knowledge puts them in a place where they don't want to be. Now, if they have the knowledge, they have the power. Knowledge is power, right? With great power comes great responsibility, of course. So when you have the knowledge and you have the power, then you should share it and let everybody know that we can all do this. We can all do this. Treat each other how you would like to be treated, right? Simple, simple, simple. But sometimes not easy. Discipline. Be disciplined. Practice what you preach, right? All these things that we've heard forever since we've been alive. And it's really that simple. But a lot of people don't get it, and they don't see through the glass. They do not see through the glass. So they see $80,000 Bitcoin. They're like, I can't do it. I can't do it, man. I don't have 80 grand. I'd rather buy a house. But the truth is, once you can see through that glass and you have the knowledge, Bitcoin's fractionalized. You can buy it for $10 at a time. You can start to build your wealth one day at a time. And before you know it, 4 or 5 years, you could actually be, which in a housing market, could take generations. A lot of these people are rich because their families have been doing it for hundreds of years. And that is crazy to think that you could only, like, there's another reason why they're doing what they're doing, because they're impatient. The patient are getting impatient, so they're starting to print as much money as they can, as fast as they can, so that they can get rich faster. Isn't that funny? It's like, we're not getting rich fast enough. We need to print more money so we can get rich faster. That's just not enough. It's literally what's happening, man. It's literally what's happening. But of course, they don't want you to catch on. So they're going to bore you and shake you out of the markets before moving higher. So did we have something like this in the past? Absolutely. An entire year of down price action. Doesn't this look a little familiar, folks? Doesn't this look a little familiar? Right? Looks a little familiar to me. But look where we ended up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, you could have bought the top. If you bought the top. And I know people that bought the top. And I told them not to buy the top. And then I was like, they're like, I bought. I was like, okay, maybe I should start getting on the internet and saying things so that people don't get wrecked. But even if you did buy the top, you would have doubled your money. You would have doubled your money. You would have over doubled your money. Isn't that crazy? The unfortunate thing is though, due to the rate of inflation, you would have not doubled your value because you would have been able to buy less with that doubled dollar amount. So you understand, you would have doubled your dollar amount, but it wouldn't have bought you as much because it took 4 years to double, right? This is why we say the DCA, because if you buy here, you buy here, you buy here, you buy here, buy. Whoa! Oh, that buying was a really good idea. Oh, look how smart I am. I was buying all this whole time. Wow, I'm so smart. Oh, dang. Bye. Oh, wow, I'm so smart. I did it. It's you know what I'm saying, right? Come on, it's just easy. The DCA method makes you feel good inside. That's all everybody ever wants, right? We just want to feel good inside. And for some reason, I don't know, it shouldn't affect you. It's just money. It's fake, right? I get it. Like it gives you time to do what you want. It gives you, it's really the knowledge about it, I think, is what does it for me. It's not the money. Like money's numbers and it keeps going up forever. So it's like, at what point does it matter? It's the knowledge of how it works, the knowledge of knowing that your value is protected, the knowledge of knowing how it works and when to take profits, when to capitalize. That's the power. That's what makes you feel good, right? Because especially that's why I love trading. And honestly, let's get down to what do we see here? So I think short term, if anybody's looking for trades, had a pretty good couple weeks. It's been fun. I was initially thinking, since we can't get out, we can't get over this. Like, we keep getting knocked on right here. But we are building a bit of a floor. And I don't know, let's see. What do we see here? We're seeing we've already broken out of here, Oh man. This was so nice. This is such a good month. So much nice price action here. Yeah, I mean, still a bit of inefficiency in here. That that inefficiency that we've been talking about this whole time, it still looks like we want to spend some more time here. So looking for shorts around like 90 thou. Looking for longs around 86, 87. That's your high volume areas that price will likely want to gravitate towards. So right now you're in the middle of a range, right exactly in the middle of a range. Any trade right now is 50-50. I don't like those odds, so I'm not going to take that. You could go down to a smaller time frame and do some scalps potentially, look for small moves. But if you're looking for swing trades, you're looking for confirmations of weakness up at 90,000, and you're looking for confirmations of strength down at 86, 87. Those are going to be where you're likely your odds increase, right? You just want to have better odds. Technically, like, people say this is gambling, but I mean, if you know what you're doing, it's educated gambling. And we know ultimately the dollar's going to zero, right? So always keep that in mind. But also know your environment, and also know your open interest. Open interest is low. We don't have a lot of buyers coming in. I have been, I want to say, majority short the last, basically I shorted here. I think I shorted here. My big trades this last month have all been shorts. I took one good long. I think I maybe longed this one a little late. I can't remember which one it was. But other than that, I've been kind of just waiting for the weakness because we are rounding out. We've hit the bull market top. We're on our way down. So this is a bear flag, like absolutely break down, consolidate, and then break down, consolidate. The stairs go up just as the stairs go down. So, you know, on a high time frame, we're walking up. Maybe this is the top and we come back down. You know, maybe we even come back down to 32, something like that. Who knows? I would say 42. There's a nice high volume node down in here that would make a lot of sense to come down to. Hey, how's it going? All right, well, let me see here. That's about it today. It's super easy to become a millionaire, folks. You just have to have the knowledge. So go out there on the internet and find yourself that knowledge, and you can do it too. And I'll catch you in the next one, all right? Have a good day. Peace. Da 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 ba da da bow 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 bow. Some tunage. You want a coloring sheet of the K-pop demon hunters, but their swords? This Watts? There's Watts? Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. What am I doing here? I don't know. Oh yeah, outro. Peace out. So I recommend putting your opinions aside and learning how to think logically.